Hello and welcome to episode 5 of the Altitude Sickness podcast. I am Tony and I am being joined by Drew. No Matthew today, a little scheduling conflict, but it's all good. We got two guys here to hold down the fort. But how are we doing?
Good. Chivilli's gone, which is cool. We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. We're only 18 days away from spring training, so.
Yeah, pitchers and catchers report next week. Like next week, like middle next week or something, which is insane. It's kind of crazy. And football season comes to an end, next Sunday? Then it's over. So at that point, it's baseball season. So almost. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it's kind of insane that it's already here. But yeah, I mean, this has been it's been a really weird offseason just because obviously so many changes have happened throughout the Rockies, like front office and everything, and because they've been actually doing stuff. Like they kind of were quiet for a while, but I think a lot of that was just because they were new and they were still probably getting used to everything and like evaluating what we had. And as of recently, they've been actually pretty active, and that's going to be what we talk about first, is just there were more moves that they made. And so to start, reliever right-handed pitcher Angel Chivilli is getting sent to the Yankees for a minor league first baseman, TJ Rumfield. I think it's Rumfield. And so this kind of shocked me. I was not really expecting a reliever to go, but I mean, it's kind of weird because of a lot of the things that we have, and we talked about this, I think, last week. I think our best position, or at least our best group of position, is our bullpen. And so if you're going to deal, you could deal from there because we have a little bit of depth there, especially with the Rule 5 draft. We got another reliever, another right-handed reliever. And in another trade we got another reliever. So it's like we're kind of set on relievers. So we had a little bit of depth to deal from. And I think I'm kind of shocked that it was Chivilli, but also it doesn't shock me because like I think of everyone, he's the one that seems to have that struggles the most with having to pitch at elevation. And so that's what I find. Like, I think a lot of the stats proved that he had, like, a good ground ball rate and he was good at striking guys out, but he just allowed a little too many, like, extra base hits, and obviously that's going to bite you at Coors. And so, overall, it's hard to grade this because it's, we haven't seen TJ Rumfield play, but I think this is solid. I mean, they're getting depth at a position that the Rockies do not have depth at right now. I mean, we still don't know truly who the starting first baseman is going to be. So it's like, I think it makes sense to trade for that.
Yeah, I think there was some potential in 2024 with Chivilli just because he wasn't awful.
Yeah.
He had a 4.55 ERA, only pitched 31 innings, but he had an ERA plus of 105, so he's slightly above average.
Yeah, his 2024 was...
And that was good.
His 2024 was pretty solid. So I think
he struggled a lot last year.
And
walked a lot.
Yeah, I do think a big problem that may have been for him was a little bit of an over reliance. I think he was used a lot. That was just under Bud Black. That was just what happened. He really liked to play the hot hand when it came to relieving, which I don't think you can do to a certain degree. You can't do it too far, and he really did that. I mean, we saw that with Jake Bird, where he also just struggled so much a lot of the year because he got used so much the year before. But yeah, TJ Rumfield I think is he's a contact first baseman, so it's a change of idea that we're getting a first base. He's kind of like an anti-Tolia. He's the opposite of Tolia, because Tolia obviously had a lot of swing and miss, but when he would hit the ball, he would hit it hard, and he would hit it far. Where this guy is very much doesn't strike out, doesn't whiff a ton, but he doesn't make the hardest contact. And so I think that's just what they're going for, is they're seeing a different type of first baseman. And so
I think we can kind of see a pattern what they want out of a player, because I was definitely surprised they just got rid of Tolia outright.
Yeah.
And that was one of the first things the new office did.
Yeah.
Which was very surprising to me, and from what I've seen online, is surprising to a lot of people. But maybe this is the type of player they're really going after.
And I think it is. I think they are really looking for like a contact first guy. And I mean, if we look at the next trade, and then after that, I don't know if it was like a day later or no, it was the same day. Like all this happened in the same day. So the Rockies acquired infielder Edouard Julien and right-handed pitcher Pearson Ole from the Minnesota Twins for minor league pitcher Jace Kaminska and cash considerations, our favorite player. So, this is another. I think this is just a good move because Jace Kaminska is coming off Tommy John and he's in like single A, I think. And so like this is just they're kind of taking a flyer on these two guys because clearly I think they were kind of expendable in that Twins lineup. And Julian had a really good, I think, 2023? He was like a solid 2023. And he had a few down years, which, again, I think that seems to be what the Rockies, with the major league players that they're trading for, is they're getting guys off down years. And so, but Julian, he looks to be, I think, right now lined up to be the starting second baseman. And he's a left-handed, again, kind of contact guy. He does strike out a decent amount, but he does get on base too. He walks at a pretty decent clip, at least when he in his 2023 and 2024. He walked a decent amount. And then Pearson Ole, I think, is just he's a swing guy, so he could pitch, he could start games, or he could relieve. And so I think overall, I like this trade too. I think this is a pretty good trade. And because of this trade, they then had 41 guys on the roster, and so they had to make room. And so they DFA'd Yanquiel Fernandez. And I think of everything, I think this was the most shocking move. I kind of wasn't expecting them to do this. But again, I mean, this is very similar to the Tolia thing. I mean, Yanquiel is he's a big, strong, not agile outfielder, and I think that's what they're trading for a lot of the time, or looking for, is outfielders. If you're going to play the outfield at Coors, you need to be fast and you need to be athletic. And unfortunately for Yanquiel, he's just not fast. And then on top of that, at the major league level, he struggled so bad at hitting. He had like a 50% ground ball rate or something, and like that's not going to get it done.
Yeah, in the crowded outfield, I mean, they have to keep, unfortunately, getting rid of people as they add them. I think when Jake McCarthy got signed, I knew someone from the outfield was going to get the boot.
Oh yeah,
who it was.
I think.
But thinking about it, I think Yanquiel's probably
I think it was either him or Veen. I think those are the two guys, and I think, unfortunately for Yanquiel, I think Veen's got the age card that he can play a little bit better. He's also a more agile outfielder, though I do think he does struggle with with his route running a little bit. But yeah, overall, I think this is a good move by the Rockies. Hopefully, and Yanquiel still has not been claimed. I think he has like one more day before they either trade him away on a claim thing, or he can get outrighted to AAA. Which, you know, if he gets outright and he stays, like, I'm fine with that, because like I like Yanquiel. I think he has something. I mean, he's a huge power threat. I think he's just gotta figure it out a little bit. And I'm hoping, if that's what the Rockies are not, who knows? But
yeah, Baseball Reference actually has a projection for Pearson Ole this year in the major leagues, which it looks really promising. Which is really, I don't know where Baseball Reference got this from.
Yeah.
But they're projecting 4.4 ERA with 47 innings. And most impressively, I think, a 3.0 strikeouts over walks.
To walk? So, okay. Yeah.
So that would be exciting. They project him to have 45 strikeouts with only 15 walks, which, if any Rockies pitcher is really getting over one strike per inning on average, that's huge.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, I think overall, again, I like this move. I think it's a good move. And again, you gave up Jace Kaminska, who is a single A pitcher. Like we weren't going to see him in 4 years anyway. And I mean, even if he was good, like I think the Rockies just you need something now, and so I think that just makes sense as a move. And so, but yeah, overall, just a few more moves that they're making. They keep making moves, and I kind of expect them to make a few more. Probably signings over trades, but who knows? They've traded more than I've expected, and so who knows? I guess hopefully they do. I hope they don't trade certain players, but we'll just see what Depot and Josh Burns got in store. And so, so the next part of unless you have anything else to go over. Nothing else. Okay. Next thing we got. So highlight group. So this is the last part of our highlight group. So we did rotation first. We did bullpen last week, and then now we're doing the lineup and the bench. So this will probably be. I'm assuming this will be the longest section of the three, just because there's more players to talk about here. So we're going off of the Fangraphs projected lineup. Which obviously that could change with spring training or a free agent signing or something like that. But this is just what we're going off of for the lineup and the bench. And so we're just kind of going to go down it, see who we like. I have a few things about them. So to lead off, it has shortstop Ezekiel Tovar, who I think that makes sense. I kind of would be shocked, though, if he truly is the leadoff hitter throughout the year. Because if he has a similar year to last year, I do not think you can put him in the leadoff spot. I love Tovar too. But he just does not get on base enough. He's not a walker, and so I just do not foresee him sticking in that leadoff spot. But they have him there, so. But
we'll talk about this farther down the list. But I think if Tyler Freeman is in the lineup, I think he's going to be the clear leadoff guy.
I for sure think that as well.
And then move Tovar to 2, and then honestly just shift the lineup down.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, with Tovar, I think he suits more as a 2-hole hitter. I think especially with his aggressive approach. And so a few things I've just got on him. Like last year, he had 9 home runs, but again, it was kind of in a shortened sample because he was hurt. He has a 99th percentile, so that's a launch angle sweet spot percentage, which pretty much means this dude hits line drives, which is good. Like that's always been his profile, is he a line drive hitter, and he hits it in the gaps too. That's just what he does. So that plays really well at Coors. And then also again, he's 83rd percentile in outs above average. I mean, he won a Gold Glove for a reason. He is going to probably be, besides Doyle, he's going to be our best defender on the field. And so, yeah, I foresee him again. If we can get a 750 OPS from Tovar, I think I'm happy. Like, if we can get a mid 700 OPS from him, that means he's hitting 20 home runs in the year, which that's awesome. And so, but it's just a matter of him staying healthy, and I'm hoping, because I think it was like his hip that he had a problem with last year. So hopefully that's gone away. Hopefully he's healed up and he'll be ready to go for the year. And so this has got second up. So it's got DH Mickey Moniak at 2-hole. So like I don't even mind Mickey Moniak in the 2-hole either. I think he's a fine 2-hole hitter. But so that can just be maybe depending on if it's a righty or a lefty pitching. If it's a lefty, maybe you want to go heavy right to start. So you do like a Tyler Freeman and then an Ezekiel Tovar and then Hunter Goodman, then Mickey Moniak or something, if that's what you want to do with it. Also, it might just depend on how he's playing. But overall, I mean, his numbers ended it was his best career year. He had a career year. He had an 824 OPS with 24 home runs. I mean, you've got to love that. His expected slugging was in the 90th percentile, 85th percentile barrel rate. This dude hit the ball hard. Better than he ever has in his career. And people are probably going to be like, oh, Coors. But I do not think that's what it was. I think he was a pretty okay hitter on the road. Because that's kind of all you need with the Rockies, is you don't need to be necessarily great on the road. Just be okay. Like a WRC plus of 110. Again, he's above average. He was a above average hitter last year, which is better than we could say about him coming into the year. And so I expect him to probably, starting out the year, be at least probably our second best hitter, and probably I think makes sense for him to be in the 2-hole.
Yeah, I like him. I like him there. I also wouldn't hate him in the 3 either.
Yeah.
But we'll kind of get with different lineups how that would shake out. But I mean, he was probably the most. I mean, Hunter Goodman was very exciting, but it was honestly more shocking to me what Mickey Moniak was doing towards the end of the year because Hunter Goodman was still new to the team, relatively. Like, we didn't know what he was capable of, but Mickey Moniak's been in the MLB for a while now.
Yeah.
And just to see a spark start with the Rockies was great. And it was probably the most, in my opinion, was the most exciting player to watch.
Yeah.
Last year.
And I think I think he'll hopefully be able to continue that going into this year. Obviously, I think the one thing with him is he cannot play defense. He is a pretty bad defender, and I'm hoping that maybe another year at Coors can help him get better at that. That's obviously the goal. But
in the magical red glove.
Yeah, in the magical red glove, yes. And so, but yeah, I think other than that, like I foresee him DHing most of the time. I don't really see him playing the field too much. I think it just makes sense for him to be in the 2-hole there. And then I think this one makes even more sense at the 3-hole. I think Hunter Goodman has to be your 3-hole hitter to start the year just because of the year he had last year. Again, like a 843 OPS. He had a 500 slug, like 520 slug, I guess. He had 31 home runs. I mean, that's the first time I think a Rockies hit 30 home runs since 2019. I know CJ Cron had 29 in like 2022, so he was like that close. But again, I mean, this dude crushed the ball last year. He was absolutely insane. It was very fun to watch. I'm happy that he broke out. Now it's just a matter of him continuing that success. I don't want this to be a one and done. I'm sick of seeing that from Rockies, from our prospects and stuff. I've already been burned by the Nolan Jones, by the Michael Toglia. Like it's happened multiple years in a row, and I don't want that. I want 2 years of a solid player for once. Give us that.
Yeah, I mean, he's clearly the best hitter on the team, even if he takes a step down from last year. As long as it's not a massive step down, it's still going to be a successful year. Because, I mean, how much... Most teams... Hunter Goodman's, in my opinion, was just I'll get controversial, but I'll just say third best catcher in the MLB last year.
I think top 3. I think he was at least top 3. I mean, he won the Silver Slugger for a reason, so, which is cool. I guess
sorry, you can go.
I was gonna say, I guess he could get a little bit better defensively, but like I think he was an average catcher. Like I'm fine with that. If you're providing this offense, give me average, and then I'm fine with it. Like I am totally fine with that. So
makes me even happier that they got rid of Diaz a couple years ago now.
Yeah, I mean, like think about that. Like there's a chance, like if Diaz didn't struggle so much in 2024, I mean, Goodman probably wouldn't even have been given a chance. So, yeah. But that was nice to see. Next up is my favorite player right now on the Rockies. It's Jordan Beck. His numbers ended up in I think it was a pretty decent season overall. I think his second year, 732 OPS. He slugged a little over 400. He was a little under league average in terms of OPS plus and weighted runs created plus. He ended with 16 home runs. He had 19 stolen bases, so that led the team, I believe. And so, yeah, I think I just like him because he's just a big, strong dude. He reminds me a lot of a younger Trevor Story. When Trevor Story was a prospect and rookie, except this guy plays the outfield. He's kind of got that same thing with like Tovar. He hits a lot of line drives. He's a line drive hitter. I think his biggest issues are he needs to get a little bit better his range. He doesn't have the best range in the outfield. But I think that'll just come with time, with getting used to playing at Coors. But another thing is I think he needs to get better at having a consistent power. He was pretty streaky, and his power kind of dwindled near the end of the year. He had 5 home runs in April, 3 in May, but then 2 every month after that. And it's like I think we just need a little more juice from him. He needs to hit a little more home runs. But other than that, I mean, I'm fine with it being again his sophomore year. Like I think it's a pretty solid year. I'm hoping for he needs to take I think another step to truly be in like a full circle of trust thing.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth. It's exactly what I was going to say. I would love him in the 4 slot if he can generate some power more frequently.
Yes.
But also something to note. I mean, he played 55 games in 24, so there's not a lot of stuff on him. But he took a pretty large step up.
Yeah.
At the plate this past season. So I mean, he's still young, and I think pairing him with Doyle and like McCarthy, I think we can take a little step back in the defense for more offense. So as long as he even slightly improves, or to be honest, stays the same in terms of his slash line, like that's totally fine with me.
Mm-hmm.
I just, again, as we've stated before, we don't want to see the Nolan Jones tank.
Yeah. And so I think his underlying numbers do prove a little bit better than what Nolan Jones did in 23. No, 23. Yeah, it was 23. And so I have more faith. I have faith in Jordan Beck that he'll be able to put a little bit more together and be good. So, but, all right, number 5. So this one, it's kind of up in the air. So it has Troy Johnston listed as our first baseman. So, and so the thing is with Troy Johnston and just the first base position as a whole is the fact that I just do not foresee him being the starting first baseman, just because I think if it's going to be anyone, it's going to either be Blaine Crim or the free agent, hopefully, knock on wood, that we sign. And so, like, again, I think we've talked about, I would like a Nathaniel Lowe. I would like a Paul Goldschmidt. It can't be Luis Ariz because he got signed by the Giants 2 days ago, 3 days ago, whatever it was. But I think I just, like, going into Troy Johnson a little bit, like, he was pretty decent last year for the little bit of playing time that he did have. He's also a lefty. And he hit with, I think he was with the Marlins, I believe. He had a 750 OPS. He crushed curveballs in the sample size that he had. He crushed the curveball. Another line drive hitter, another like line drive type of guy. But I don't think he provides quite as much power as what you would want from a first base position, which is not necessarily everything. But I do think that you kind of want that a little bit. You want a little more power, especially because this team was sapped for power last year. And so, that, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of up in the air right now for first base because I just see it's right now a three-way race in spring training for who's going to get it. I mean, honest 4-way if you include Charlie Condon, who will probably get an invite. And then that's not including a free agent that they might sign. So, I don't know. I don't really have much else on Troy Johnston, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I don't want to hate on the guy because he has done nothing wrong.
Yeah, that's fair.
But in this is my opinion, but if the front office really wants everyone else, like we're almost there on the buy-in, like what they've done so far. But if they went out and got Paul Goldschmidt, I'd be like, I'd be bought it.
Yeah, I would be too.
Entirely.
Yeah.
Even if it's because, especially, everyone thinks Charlie Condon's coming up at some point this year.
Yeah.
I think hopefully it's going to be like right after the All-Star break or like a week or two after. So he still has a good enough sample size to where we can really evaluate his season and how he fares in the big leagues. So all they need to do is just sign some old fart for a year.
Yeah.
That's all they need to do.
Yeah.
And it can be any of the people, well, can't be Ariz that we talked about last week. I would not love Rhys Hoskins because of what he's getting paid, but at this point, I just want them to sign someone.
Yeah, I think anyone.
Because we saw the struggle at first base last year, and it was really not fun to watch.
Yeah.
So I don't want to poo-poo on Troy Johnson because he hasn't done anything wrong. But it would just really it would make the lineup look a lot better.
Yeah.
If Paul Goldschmidt was at first base than Troy Johnson. So.
I agree. So we can move on from him a little bit just so we don't, just keep harping on him. So center field, it's got obviously Bretton Doyle. He's next up. A down year. Like after a very good 2024, he just took a step back in pretty much almost everything last year, including his defense. For on and off the real field purposes, he dealt with some struggles off the field, obviously. That's going to do something. That's going to mess you up. And he did end up, at the end of the year, he was kind of coming back. He was kind of turning it back on in August and September. And so, overall, he is still one of the best defensive center fielders in baseball, and he's also super fast. I kind of wish I would see a few more stolen bases from him. He had 18, which, again, that's second on the team. That's pretty good. But, come on, get 25. Give me 25 stolen bases. Give me that. I'd be fine with that. Because he was a 2020 guy last year, I believe. He had 20 stolen bases and 20 home runs. And so do that again this year. I would love to see that. But yeah,
looking forward to a bounce back season.
I'm pretty high on a bounce back season from Bretton Doyle. I expect to see that.
Only thing I don't want to say is I hope he plays good, but I hope he doesn't play tradable.
I was going to say trade-worthy good.
So I do want to keep him.
No, it's really
center field at Coors is hard to play.
Yes.
When you have a guy
that can do it better than you've ever seen before, that does feel like someone you've got to keep.
He's only 27, so it's not like we still have a few good years left.
You probably got 3 more years at least of him patrolling a great center field. And then after that, you're probably going to get another 2 years of him at least being good to average. And so, as long as he hits, above terrible, I think you're taking it. And so I think just last year he just really had a down year, and hopefully this next year he'll be able to come back and have a bounce back. And I foresee him having that. So next up, third base. We have Willie Castro, so the free agent, Swiss Army knife, super utility guy that they signed, coming off a down year again. He played really well in Minnesota, was traded to the Cubs, and struggled a lot in the second half of the year. Ended with a 679 OPS. What do you have? 11 home runs. Not anything crazy offensively. He's going to probably be about a league average bat is what you're going to get from him, which I think is totally fine because the point of him is not... this is another guy that I don't foresee just being the everyday starting third baseman. I foresee him being the guy that when other people need a break or someone gets hurt, he will fill in. That's his role, is he will play everywhere. And I think that's just what his role is going to be, which I think is fine. I think that he plays that role well. So,
yeah, we can only hope for a bounce back year because, when he's playing well, he's exciting to watch. So
yeah,
that just fills another spot, and then it also gives Kyle Caro some more time in the minor leagues.
I do think it was
a long-term option.
I think it was pretty clear last year that Kyle Karros was not quite ready to make that leap. It was just they needed him to play because they traded McMahon. So I think that's all that was he was just still a little too young, not quite polished enough. So I think he will probably start the year at the minor league level and just get a little bit more playing time there and then come back ready, hopefully to play a little bit better.
I do like how the front office, I think everybody knows this by now, they said, people aren't going to play just because we have no one else. Mm-hmm. They have to earn their spot, earn it. Which I'm very glad that the front office is at least holding up to that statement. Up until this point. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. But I do think that, that's definitely the mindset that you have to have in a team that right now is going to probably lose another 100 games. is that has to be what it is you're not just getting playing time because you're here or because you were a highly touted prospect of the system. It's if you're playing well, you're going to keep playing, but if you don't play well, you are not going to play and you're going to possibly be sent down. And I think that's how you have to. And it's funny because it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense, but that is a foreign concept in the eyes of Rockies fans and the Rockies front office, because that's just not how it's been run for the last, like, that I can think, like, at least 6 years, because we have not gotten any better. We've only gotten worse because of something like that. And so, but yeah, I mean, Willie Castro, I think, will be fine. I don't foresee him staying at the third base, being like starting, but we'll just have to see. Next up, it's got right fielder hitting in the eight hole is Jake McCarthy, so the guy we traded for from the Diamondbacks. So I foresee him being the fourth outfielder type guy, but they have him at right now because Moniak's just DHing. So him and Moniak probably will flip out every once in a while. You know, Tyler Freeman will get some action in there. And so another guy that's just coming off a down year. I mean, he just struggled a lot at the plate. But this dude is one of the fastest guys in baseball. I mean, he's got 99th percentile speed. And then he also doesn't strike out. He's a contact guy. But unfortunately, it's not necessarily, at least last year, wasn't a like good contact. It was just he was getting contact, not striking out. But I think at Coors, you can kind of get away with a little bit of that. Is you can get away with weaker contact working. Like someone that, I mean, it worked for his entire career was Charlie Blackmon. Like he never necessarily made amazing contact, like top echelon contact, but he was just able to poke that single to right or to left every so often, that at Coors Field and the big outfield that it is, you're going to get those balls to drop. And so I think a change of scenery and hopefully utilizing that field, I think Jake McCarthy will have a little bit of a bounce back. I'm hoping for it.
Yeah, and to tie into that contact part, especially when he's so fast and the gaps in Coors are huge, he can stretch a single into a double and a double into a triple really fast.
Yes.
And the Rockies actually did really well at hitting triples last year.
Yes.
They weren't good at hitting anything else.
Yes.
But they were really good at hitting triples.
Yeah, Coors is a very good park for triples. I think Jake McCarthy has, like, I don't know if that's even a prop, but I may sling some money on a Jake McCarthy over triples. So
yeah. And something else to note, besides, I'm assuming he was hurt last year, right? Jake?
He either hurt or lost his lost his like starting spot to Alec Thomas because I think he was playing so bad.
Yeah, he didn't play great. So, but in 2022, 2023, and 2024, he had over 20 stolen bases, which we stressed all last year. Like, why are we not stealing bases? Mm-hmm. Like, it's hard enough for our team to get on base. Why are we not trying to steal one away?
Yeah.
And so that addition with Doyle running a little bit more is going to be really fun. And again, the low strikeout percentage is really nice.
Yeah.
Even in a down year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think, yeah, stolen bases have to be a part of this team's identity next year because, again, they're not going to have this big power. They're not going to be a big power hitting team. They're not, and I do foresee them still having a little bit of strikeout problem. So I think when you get on base, you've got to be aggressive. I think it just makes the game more dynamic. It gives you guys another depth in your game. And I think that just has to be something to do because they have a lot of fast dudes. I mean, you got Jordan Beck, you got Brenton Doyle, you now got Jake McCarthy, Tyler Freeman's fairly fast, Ryan Ritter is pretty fast, Tovar's not slow. Like you've got a lot of fast guys that you can get some stolen bases out of, and so that's just what I'm hoping for. And so. And last up, we got hitting in the 9 hole, I guess. We've got the second baseman, the guy they just traded for, Edouard Julien. And so this guy, again, another dude that they're trading for, coming off a down year. That seems to just be the plan right now, is we're just getting guys coming off down years, but that have shown success in the past. Like this dude had a pretty good 2023 on a playoff-bound Twins team. He was like their starting, I think, second baseman. Like he was pretty good for them. And I think the last 2 years he's just played a little bit worse and a little bit worse. Still had over a 300 on base percentage. He just didn't slug that much, but that's kind of his calling card, is that he's an on base guy. He strikes out a lot, but he walks a lot too. And I mean, that has to be something the Rockies do more, is walk. They have got to get better at walking. But overall, I think again they're kind of getting a lower, like a below average bat, at least last year. But he hits lefty, so you can kind of get a platoon thing going with him, with Ryan Ritter or a Tyler Freeman playing at second base. And he also can play other positions. I don't foresee him playing a lot of other positions, because if you already have Willie Castro to do that, I don't really see the point in making him flip around a lot. But yeah, I mean, overall, again, you're getting a down year, hoping for a little bit of a bounce back second base option. So
yeah, as much as I love Ryan Ritter, there's not really. I'm to be honest, my hands are kind of tied. I think this guy's going to start over him anyway. But he's only 28, or he's 26. Sorry, this guy's 26, so he's not super old, so he's still got a lot of time left. But I think what you said with the platooning, and I honestly think not as raw talent, but sort of a Montero Tolia kind of flip-flop I could also see happening, and basically be like, one of you win the position.
Yeah.
I could see something like that happening as well.
Yeah. I think that there's going to be quite a few, like, I think this spring training is going to be pretty interesting, because honestly, I think right now, other than, I think, Hunter Goodman at catcher, Tovar, and I guess Doyle in center, besides there, I'm pretty sure they are probably going to be like, every position is up for grabs and you have to earn it. I think Beck probably has a little more inside track to the left field spot. So right field, third base, second, and first, all are kind of up for grabs, which I think is good. Again, that builds that the competition that hopefully will get them going, and hopefully it can get us the best players that need to be playing on the field. But that's the lineup. That's at least just the lineup going. So we got the bench, just obviously 4 guys. This one could be pretty quick. Braxton Fulford, I mean, he's just the backup catcher. I think that's all he is. The Rockies do not have a lot of catching depth in the minor league level at all that is MLB ready. And so this one's Braxton Fulford. He's going to probably, unless they sign a minor league guy, that would be, i.e., the Jacob Stallings that we signed before, or the Austin Wynns that we've picked up. Like, players like that, but I mean, both of them are on other teams at this point, and I just don't foresee them getting anyone right now, but they could, because Braxton Fulford he started hot, but he really struggled at the end of the season. I mean, having a below 600 OPS, like, that was something that I actually found interesting, was this dude's kind of fast. He has a 91st percentile in sprint speed for a catcher. That's really funny to me. But yeah, I think he was below average in every hitting metric pretty far, and he also was not a good catcher, like a good defensive catcher. He was, I could not, thinking about it, there were at least 2 or 3 times that I saw that dude sail a throw to third base into the outfield, and it made me so mad. It's like, dude, like, just don't throw the ball if you're gonna do that. But so hopefully with a little bit more work, he can get that down a little bit. But I don't know. There's not really much to say about him. Backup catcher.
Yeah, don't have much.
He's not gonna. There's not gonna be that much adding to the team. So, but next people we got Blaine Krim. So him and Troy Johnson, at least as of right now, seems to be the platoon at first. You got the righty and lefty, so he's the righty. Last year, low batting average, but high slug. So this dude hit home runs. He was pretty good for the little bit that he had. The little bit of playing time that he got with the Rockies last year, he was pretty decent. About a little less than league average, but he also he played pretty poorly in Texas where he was before. But one thing that was good about him was that he slugged against the fastball. He hit fastballs pretty hard. And a home run in every 13 ABs, like 1 home run per 13 ABs, that's like upper echelon of power hitters in baseball. But again, that's very small sample size. I mean, it's the same thing with Troy Johnston. I do not have faith in either of these guys as a long-term solution, which is not what I'm kind of expecting, especially because we have Condon. However, it's really just that they're going to have to battle it out, and we'll see who starts, because I could not tell you who's going to start at first. So,
yeah,
not really much else, honestly. It's pretty cut and dry with that. So next we've got 2 infielders left. So we got Ryan Ritter. So he's going to be, at least according to Fangraphs, he'll look to be the backup infielder around the horn. He could kind of play everywhere. He could play short, second, and third at least. I think with him, it's just a matter of his bat did not develop that well last year. And again, him rookie year, you can give him that a little bit. I think him and Julian have a chance to be a platoon at second. And he can get some starts at third if Willie Castro's not starting. So I could see that happening. But overall, we need some progression this next year. Need to get better with the bat. But overall, he's a above average defender. He's fast. I'd like to see some more stolen bases. Again, that's another guy. Let's steal some more bases. But yeah, a big thing is just he's got to develop his bat a little bit more.
Yeah, I think he is going to realize that this year the spot's not really given to him, because he first came in when Tovar was hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And, Tyro Estrada was already hurt.
Yeah.
So there were 2 guys down, so he kind of got given the spot. And then with Amador not really performing well, there wasn't really any competition there.
Yeah.
So I think this is, even though he's super young, I think this year is a big prove-it year for him.
Yeah.
He wants to continue to be the second baseman.
I would agree with that. And then next up, we just got Tyler Freeman. It's kind of the same boat, honestly, as Ryan Ritter. He's a little bit better with his bat. That's the thing, is he's got the average and he gets on base a decent clip. He's not a big slugging guy, but that's just not who he is. He's going to hit for average. He's going to hit for contact. A little bit below average hitter, though. But, that's fine. You're looking more just as average guy, top of the lineup type of guy that stole 18 bases. So he stole a lot of bases. We like that. I mean, he did not strike out either. He's a big not strikeout guy. Doesn't whiff a ton. His biggest bugaboo is his defense. He does not play great defense. Whether that be outfield or infield, he is not a good defender. And so I could foresee him getting a lot of DH role, because that's what they did last year with him. You could split time with him and Moniak. So that's what I foresee them doing possibly with him. But also, he can, in a pinch, fulfill almost any position. He's just not going to play it that well. But as a sub or whatever, as a day off for Doyle or a day off for Beck or a day off for Tovar, you can fill in those positions. And so I foresee that being the role that he is going to be.
Yeah. I like him in the lineup. I've said it before, hitting is very contagious. And in the back half of the year, you know who is hitting right after Tyler Freeman? Mickey Moniak.
Yeah.
So I hope I think there's a lot of people in this lineup this year that can be. And I guess to finish off, since we're done with the bench,
mm-hmm.
I think it's easy to say that this lineup is way better than the lineup at the beginning of last year. So
yeah.
Improvement, good. I don't think the old management, I don't think we would have seen a lot of these moves that they made. So we're taking steps in the right direction.
I agree. I don't think they would have moved. I don't think they would have signed Willie Castro. I think they would have signed someone more on a minor league deal, like a Harold Castro or an Orlando Arcia, like those type of players. I also don't think they would honestly have moved to get Edouard Julian, because I think they would have said that Ritter and Amador are good enough at second. I think that's where another bit would be. And then even the Jake McCarthy, I mean, they probably would have said, oh, we have so many outfielders, why would we need another? But Obviously, I think this front office sees something in Jake McCarthy that they like. Probably his range and his speed, which I like. I like that. And his non-whiffing, pretty good. So, but yeah, overall, I would agree that I think this lineup is definitely better than last year. And so, yeah, I have a little bit more faith going into this year. I think right now I'm pretty excited. I'm excited, and I'm hoping that more steps can be taken to get better for those guys. But if we got nothing else,
we have something even more exciting to talk about.
Yeah. So yeah, we can end on a little bit more of an exciting thing. So 2 Rockies prospects made the MLB, or I guess MILB or whatever it is, the top 100 prospect list in all of MLB. And so I know last year we only had 1, but yeah, this year with the fourth overall pick, we chose Ethan Holiday, and he landed number 24 on their list. He's number 1 in the Rockies organization. So he's born in Tucson, Arizona. He was drafted out of Stillwater High School. Like I said, he was 4th overall. And he got a little bit of playing time last year. Not a lot, just because obviously he was drafted, in July or whatever, so he didn't really get that much. But in 84 plate appearances, he hit .239 with a .357 on base, so he still got a decent amount of walks. He walked a bit. A .737 OPS, obviously that's not, setting the minors on fire, but also he is 18 years old. I see a lot of doomers being like, oh, it's over. They're already ruining a Holiday. It's like, dude, he's been in the organization for 9 months. Can we please chill?
And he made the jump from high school to playing grown men.
Exactly.
He's not even 19 yet.
Yes.
So, I mean, I don't think it doesn't matter what his stats would be.
Exactly.
At the end of last year.
I think what matters with him is the fact that he was able to play, and he said how he wanted to play as early as possible, which I love that. I love that he is already wanting to get into this. And so there's the prospect, what is it? The tools or whatever, or they have the number that they assign for the prospects, which is just a grade. It's a grade. That's what it is. So they give him a 20 out of 45 for hit grade, a 25 out of 60 for game power. Raw power, he gets a 60 out of 70, which I don't know what the difference between game power and raw power is. I'm assuming raw power might just be the extra base hit tool, where game power might be home runs, maybe. Speed, somehow he got a 45 out of 40, so maybe they just think he's the fastest guy ever, somehow getting over, but whatever. Fielding, 30 out of 50. I think the Rockies right now plan to make him the third baseman. I do not think he's going to stick it short, because you're not going to move Tovar. I think he is a future third baseman, which I think he fits fine there. I think he'll be a fine third baseman. So they give him a future value of 55, and I think that's out of 60, I want to say. And so, they are expected big things from this guy, the prospect people. And I mean, he was kind of a consensus 1-1 last year. It was just a matter of who was it, the Nationals? Did they have the first pick? And they whoever it was, didn't want to choose a high value slot, because they would have had to pay him about $9 million. Whereas the guy that they chose, they only had to pay a few $1 million. And then the next two organizations, whoever they were, they chose pitchers. And so Holiday fell to us. And I remember being really mad that we didn't get the 4th overall, that we got the 4th overall pick when we could have had the 1. Because I was like, that way, we get Holiday. So we honestly saved a little bit of money. We saved about $1 million.
Yeah.
And so,
I'm sad we have to wait this long. I'm also happy that he is now under the leadership of, I don't want to say the new regime, but I mean, that's kind of what it is. They kind of cleaned house.
Yeah, and I think that hopefully they can put more emphasis and resources in the lower minor leagues to get these guys more ready for big league, for just the higher minors and stuff. And so I'm hoping that, good old Paul and Josh Burns, I guess. I don't know how much Josh Burns is going to be doing, but I think Paul does a lot with the president of baseball operations. I think hopefully he'll be able to persuade and get more things down in those lower minors to give these guys the tools to succeed. And the second guy on the top 100, the only other guy that really would even be in consideration is Charlie Condon. So he's the 70th overall. So he fell a little bit, but he also hurt kind of last year. So he's the second in the organization. Born in Atlanta, Georgia. Drafted first round, third overall in 2024 out of the University of Georgia, where he put up, arguably a top 10 college season of all time. Like I'm pretty sure he slugged over 1,000 or something like that. It was insane how good he was in college. But I know that in spring training he got hurt, and it was like the first inning that he played in spring training, he like hurt his wrist, and so he was out to start the year, and it clearly still bugged him, I think, throughout the year, because in high A, so he played in high A and double A last year. He did pretty well in honestly both. Like he did solid in both. Had over a 10% walk rate in both leagues as well. Slugged over 400 in both leagues. Had over a 130 WRC plus in both high A and double A. Like, I'm liking it. He does kind of have a bit in double A. He kind of struck out a little bit, but that's kind of part of his game too. He's a big hitter, so he's gonna strike out a bit. Little bit low average, but again, where Hartford plays for Hartford, it's usually a lower average pitcher heavy, like good pitcher league, because that's how double A usually is, especially compared to the PCL where the Isotopes play. But overall, like, I think he had a pretty solid year. And then in terms of the grades, they give him a 30 out of 30 hit tool, so they're expecting him to have good hitting. 30 out of 60 for game power, 70 out of 70 for raw power. So he's a big, strong guy. 40 out of 40 for speed. I didn't realize he was that fast, but okay. Fielding, a 30 out of 40. He's going to be playing first base. You don't need amazing defense. Just don't be actively hurting the team, and I think that he'll be good enough. And then they give him a future value of 45 plus, so over 45. And so a little bit lower than Ethan Holiday, but again, I think Ethan Holiday's given a lot more because he's younger. But even then, Charlie Condon is, 24 or something like that? Like, he's pretty young. I do think that this is a very important year for Charlie Condon, though, because this will probably be the last time that he's on the top 100 list, because he's either, I think this will be the last time he would be on there, because, unless he has a monster year. But then again, if he has a monster year in the minors, he's going to be on the major league roster. So that's his thing. So I think he has a decent amount to prove this year to start out hot, keep it going, not get hurt, and just, have a good season here.
Yeah, things got a little dark for us specifically last year when he got hurt, and of course we live in Royals country. With the rise of Jack Caglione, we thought we got burned again.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even the Rockies' fault, because Charlie Condon was clearly better in college.
I think that's what makes it hurt so much, is it's like...
We started to feel like we got burned for no reason.
Yeah.
It's not the Rockies' fault.
Yeah.
And now, things have changed, and obviously I think Jack's still going to be really good, but I think Charlie's going to be better.
Yeah.
And that's fine. So hopefully we'll see him this year. And again, he doesn't need to be amazing.
Yeah.
But if he has positive WAR this year in the major leagues, that's a huge victory for the Rockies. So.
I would agree. Yeah. Like another guy that kind of follows that same thing, Nick Kurtz for the A's, who drafted one spot lower and just won Rookie of the Year. It's hard to be like, it's hard to, again, like you said, like, yes, it sucks seeing that, but like, you cannot blame the Rockies for drafting Condon. Like, he put up one of the best college seasons of all time. You were gonna draft him. And so I think he's just got to be healthy and have a good season. I foresee that happening. And so hopefully, and again, I think he has an outside shot of winning the first base position. I don't think it's going to happen, but like I think he has an outside shot. And so
I'm excited to watch and or listen to watching him play in
spring training.
Spring training.
Yeah, because somehow
I want to see. I really hope the Team USA versus Rockies game is televised because I want to see that because the Rockies are going to lose 40-0.
I don't think the television schedule has come out for spring training yet. Which again, also, how is it 2026 and we do not have every spring training game televised? That just bizarre to me. That is absolutely bizarre to me. But I'm not gonna get into that. But that is just unreal that is not a thing.
You know what? We might have a topic for next week.
Yeah, I'm just get into that.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a little sneak peek into next week, possibly.
Yeah. Oh man. But yeah, like we said, next week I'm pretty sure pitchers and catchers are reporting. So like it's almost here. We've got like a week left of just nothing but off-season moves. I suspect the Rockies are going to make at least one more. I think whether that be a trade or a free agent signing, maybe for a pitcher or hopefully a first baseman. But we'll just have to see. But other than that, that's all I've got. Do you have anything else?
Nope. See you next week.
Yep. All right. Well, as always, go Rockies, and we will see you guys later. All right. Bye.